This week on We Are Rhonda, we discuss retail hostages, faking social skills, and big black coffees. Last week, we helped a member of the World of Warcraft Guild World Order who left us this warm message. Thanks, Mplay. Join us as we return to the office for episode 9, All-American Slammer, I Hardly All-American Knower.
Welcome back to Fox News, bitches. More information coming in this hour from that nearly fatal cruise ship catastrophe. 3 survivors and 18 wicker chairs have been recovered off of a remote island in the Caribbean. God, what a mess. For more details on the recovery effort, we go to Anna McKinley, who is the girl.
Hi, Ron. Yes, I am the girl. We're coming at you live from Miami Beach because I did not want to stick my heels in the water. They tried to load us up onto this boat and bring us to the shipwreck, but I said nay.
Anna, what does it look like down there? What's the scene?
It's gorgeous, Ron.
I see some spring breakers behind you. You gonna go play some volleyball with them later, Anna?
I'm wearing my bikini under my top.
Yeah, Anna McKinley, let's go!
What are some of the details on the 3 survivors?
They're nowhere to be seen. As it turns out, they were co-workers in a small accounting firm. It appears they've gone back to work.
Do we have their names yet, or what is being released so far?
We do have their names. We've narrowed it down because we found multiple passports washing ashore throughout the last few days. The only 3 that have not washed ashore are 3 women named Rhonda, Rhonda, and Rhonda.
3 Rhondas escaped the cruise ship catastrophe.
Another passport that has not yet been found is the passport of the captain of the ship, Captain Guy Fieri.
Woo, Anna McKinley, watch out for the ball!
It looks like his Speedo and his hat have been washed ashore, but nothing else remains from the beloved captain. His family has been searching for him for days.
Well, our thoughts and prayers are with that family, and I hope they arm themselves to the teeth.
We have the daughter of the captain here right now. I just want my daddy to come home. I just miss my daddy so much and I just want some closure. Please, daddy, why? Why, daddy?
A girl with a broken heart on Miami Beach. Not the first time, nor the last time. We'll bring you more details as they develop.
Will someone turn that damn television off? This is mortifying.
Please. I got it. Click.
What a week, you guys.
Yeah, I'm sorry for that girl.
Yeah, she looked
wasn't on
pretty
the boat.
good. Welcome to Rhonda on land again.
I still have my sea legs. I'm not ready for this. I'm just rocking on those waves. Oh, wait. It's because I'm sitting on this fitness orb at my desk.
Yeah, you're not going to have back problems ever.
No.
Welcome to this episode of We Are Rhonda. I'm Rhonda.
I'm Rhonda.
And I'm Rhonda.
And we are
Rhonda.
And we're back in the office after being castaways for maybe a week or so.
Feels like so much longer.
It truly does. It feels nice to be back.
Does it?
A little.
What have you been doing since you got back?
Trying to catch up on some paperwork at the office, but I also went to a wedding.
Oh, yeah, me too.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, you were there. We went together.
Is this like a familial event?
It was. It was Donald's sister's wedding.
How was the reception?
Full of love is how I can describe it.
I would say so. I don't like doing weddings. I don't think people are like themselves at weddings, and they just feel bad to me. Like, I feel awkward.
Oh, yeah, for sure. This wedding excluded, though. Like, I think it was really just positive in every way it could have possibly been.
I don't know if it was because the people there, they really seemed like they wanted to be there.
Yeah.
Or if it was because I had all my family and some fans there.
Yeah.
It was really fun.
It was just the best. I miss it. I miss them.
Yeah, me too. That's the one thing I'm noticing is like, as I come away from that, I was like, oh, I miss my family now.
I know.
Eli, you were there too.
It's nice that you could stop in. It was so good to see you in that moment, and then you were gone.
I had to go.
By the way, how cute is St. Louis and just the Midwest?
I think I was way cuter than St. Louis.
It's true, but anywhere there is a radio turned on, it is playing country music about tequila making your clothes fall off and your truck, and I just loved that.
Tequila making your truck fall off.
Tequila making you fall out of your truck.
Songs about OWIs and love.
I thought that was a little charming. And I normally don't think of it as charming, but...
And St. Louis is the home of strip malls.
Oh my God, yes.
Every building is a strip mall with a billion things in it. You're never not within a mile of a strip mall that has all of your needs.
Is St. Louis the one with that giant arch? The arch?
Yes.
Did you guys get to go to the top of it?
No.
Oh, that seems like the thing to do. Well, I guess that's me, not a St. Louis resident. That's like someone telling a New Yorker, wow, you don't go to the Statue of Liberty every day?
But a nice thing that my pilot did on the flight home was fly directly under the arch. So I got to see it up close. It was kind of like being on the top of it.
When I flew through there, I personally requested that they fly into the arch.
Right.
And he did. It was amazing.
Well, you really get a good view when you're inside of the arch. I think that's the way to see it, you know?
Yeah.
If you look really closely at the top of it, you'll see where different planes have dinged it with their wings.
You think Sully was a good pilot. This guy, he was immaculate. Only about 2 deaths.
So 2 deaths at a wedding, got to see your family. I think that just sounds like a perfect trip to St. Louis.
Should I talk about this guy I made out with?
Oh,
Should you?
yes.
Sure. I
Should
can edit
I?
it out if it... I don't know if you want to.
I mean, is it funny or is it like bad?
I want to know about it.
Every like potential romantic relationship that you've ever come encounter with is always shitty, and I'm so sorry,
Yeah.
but I think that's
No,
funny.
it's okay. So let's have a segment called Michelle's Dating Life Corner. It's sad. I cry sometimes. I don't know how to begin this story, but I was in Barbie's wedding, Donald's sister, and walking down the aisle with me, my assignee was this boy. I won't use any names.
His name is Tall Drink of Water with some man cake on the back.
Yeah, Mr. Cake is what we'll call him. So Wedding Cake and I were walking down the aisle. We really hit it off. Like we were, chit-chatting a bunch and stuff. And I think my mom and my aunt, Linda, had both said at some points, like, you guys are such a cute couple. They were not drunk, but I made them sound like they were just because they are in spirit all the time to me. I swear there's going to be pictures of this because through the entire wedding, he was staring directly at me.
Oh, that's so weird.
I know. I mean, it was cute. Like
What? No, Michelle.
No, I mean it was endearing. But I kept having to like look down. I was staring at the back of Barbie's head the whole time, and then every time I would look up at him, he'd be staring at me, and I would smile and then like look at Barbie's head again. People just can't just look at me like a person.
You're too nice to these boys up until the point where they actually are fucking insane. You give them the benefit of the doubt the entire way through.
So Wedding Cake and we danced a lot. Actually, I was really, really mad. The first time we danced, they were playing Bye Bye Bye, and I just wanted to do the NSYNC dance because I know it. Mm-hmm. And what better opportunity to do that dance than to that song? But no, he grabbed me, and he's a certified professional ballroom dancer. So he's twirling me around, like trying to be a ballroom dancer as I'm trying to just do the waves for Bye 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 and the stomps to the beat. But no. So I'm ballroom dancing to NSYNC's Bye Bye Bye. And it was fine, whatever. The other things that were happening was apparently everyone except for me was being informed that this boy had a girlfriend. And so I was the only one out of the loop on this. People eventually told me, and I was like, really? Because I don't know. It doesn't seem like it. And he's like really flirting with me, like hardcore. Like, oh, maybe not. Maybe it's like was a thing or whatever. So anyways, at the end of the night when he was leaving, he came over and to say goodbye, we hugged. And then he kissed my hand. Like he did that thing that no one ever does. But no, it was good. I was like, this is interesting. What an interesting twist. And my brother and his girlfriend were standing right there. And my brother was like, are you into that? And I was like, yeah, it was kind of cool. Like, it's not a thing that happens, It was kind of nice. And so he grabbed his girlfriend's hand and he pulled it close to his mouth and he goes,
This is Andy, Michelle's brother, co-host of Cold Ones.
Check out their podcast. I love my brother. He is probably one of the funniest people to me, but it's because we have the exact same sense of humor. If you want more of this, Cold Ones is like this, but drunker, if that's possible, and more sporadic, I'd say.
Can I rewind this cassette tape of a story and then get back to the part where you guys were dancing on the floor? You had made it very clear that you wanted to dance to Bye Bye Bye, and because you knew the choreography.
I didn't make it very clear, but I was doing the choreography
That's
as he
as clear
started
as
twirling
you
me.
could probably make it to this man who is trying to swing you around like an object.
You're probably right. That should have been my first red flag, right? That he's controlling.
You seemed unsure that Bye 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 was ever going to play.
I never thought I'd ever hear it again in my life.
It seemed like you were ready to dance to whatever song it may be with the choreography to Bye Bye Bye.
That's me every day. It's like a bonus when that song actually plays and I'm not having to do the Bye 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 song to like any other song. The way that I saw it eventually was I think he just wanted to dance with me. And I thought it was nice. It was nice. And then like a slow song came on and the DJ lady was like, all right, let's bring all the couples out again. And then he was like, do you want to join the couples? And like grabbed my hand and we slow danced and it was sweet. I was having a good night. Like I just went with anything that happened. It just was good. But here's where the story takes a turn for the dark. So that night I found him on Facebook and added him. He sent me a message and he was like, oh, I was gonna get on here and add that cute girl from the wedding.
If this man was hitting on you any harder, it would be domestic abuse.
So he asked me out for what he called a breakfast date. You know.
At a French cafe, where was the date?
Oh,
the breakfast date?
The cafe, the Denny's diner that we went to. He picked me up from my hotel, drove me across the street to Denny's. We ate big breakfast, and then he told me it was his birthday the day before. And so I offered to pay, and then I was like, I'm a chump.
But the breakfast went fine, right?
The breakfast was fine, yeah. He's very nice. He's very smart. He's very tall, which is important because I'm very tall as well.
How tall are you?
69 inches tall.
Nice.
My family was planning on leaving to drive home pretty early, so I told him like I need to be back like a half hour before we were planning on leaving, just because I wanted to get out of there. Just because it was a situation. I don't know. I don't like situations. I just wanted to be with my family. We left there to get me back by 8:30. Pulled into the parking lot at the hotel, and then he immediately started making out with me. Like I stopped him and I was like, okay, I should probably get going. And he was like, but you seem to be having a really good time. And I was like, and then he started making out with me again.
Is there like a bodily sign that this guy only knows that women make that makes this like obvious? Like, does he see sweat glands?
I don't know. Like when I'm enjoying myself making out, I'm like climbing on top of this boy. But that was not what I was doing. I was just sitting in my respected car seat, not like car seat like a child seat, but like my respected seat of the vehicle. He was the one who had leaned his entire being onto my seat, into my space. And I was just there. I was just being made out with, basically.
This is a teachable moment for any of the gentlemen listening or the not so gentlemen listening.
Or any men.
You should, that's pretty much every man. You can ask. In fact, you should ask.
Please do. Please do ask. It's awkward and uncomfortable for all of us. Please do ask.
Do you know how sexy it is to like ask, can I kiss you?
Yeah. I
It's
mean,
a
it sounds
sexy thing.
weird to say, but yeah, if it ever happened to me, I'd be like, that's really nice of you. But of course, that has literally never happened to me.
If you ever get past the stage where someone's trying to murder you, and then also past the stage where someone's not trying to force themselves onto you by way of making out, then that would be really hot.
Michelle, I
Right.
feel like your dating life is basically just QWOP. Does anybody remember QWOP?
It's
Yes!
My dating life is QWOP.
Go play QWOP.
Go play QWOP.
It's a good game.
This week's sponsor is QWOP.
Have you ever wanted to move your limbs like a normal thing?
Well, now you can't.
Now you still can't. QWOP.
So asking for anything and communication, I think people are like really stuck on the idea that if you ask, then you ruin the moment. But that's definitely not the case for me or for people that want to generally have a good time and not be in an awkward situation where one of us is not reciprocating the emotion that the other is showing.
What's the worst that you could be told is no?
No, thank you. I need to leave. Or no, thank you. I'm not feeling it. Or no, thank you. It's always no. I'm just bringing up a bunch of no's. I'm practicing for when this ever happens.
Yeah, you practice.
No.
No.
Please, no, God, no.
Yeah, no, but like here's my answer to like a question, like, can I kiss you? I just go deadpan, stare past his ears, and I'm just like, no.
Oh my God.
A really nice way to let somebody down if you don't want to kiss them is, let's not ruin this. But say it nicer, Be like, I'm having such a good time and I want to remember
Just fucking say no.
having a great time.
Just
Say,
no.
I'm married.
Or alternatively, say, I have a girlfriend.
Or alternatively say, you have a girlfriend.
Yeah. Oh,
I have herpes all over my mouth.
I got a really bad outbreak right now. So
I have
you
like
don't want
7
this.
cold sores right now. Do you want to see them?
I would want to see it.
Yeah, let me see those. I love gross shit.
Then you got to keep her.
And then you're like, I lied, but you're awesome.
Michelle, he didn't ask? Like he just leaned in and started...
He did not ask. That's not a thing that people do. I've never been asked. Maybe I give off the vibe that I'm always ready to make out. Maybe it's because my mouth is always ajar.
Oh, same.
It's always dry though. Just my dry air, like just mouth breathing.
Oh yeah, she really wants it.
So dry.
Then what happened?
Finally, I got him off me and I was like, really? I need to go. Like it was literally like 20 minutes that this guy just kept coming back for
word.
more and wouldn't let me leave. He got like a little bit aggressive that I was not into and he grabbed my hair. I had like gotten up early to get my hair nice and did so that I wouldn't look like a trash human. This cute little ribbony bun, and he like grabbed it. Like, who grabs the side of your hair? Once this encounter was over, I had to walk through the lobby of this hotel, walk past the breakfast area where our Aunt Linda and Uncle John were having breakfast. Then they have to see me walk in, like some walk of shame where my hair is all disheveled and I'm just probably looking like a scared fawn. I just like waved at them and ran. I couldn't even stop to say anything because I knew that I felt that I looked like someone who had just been molested.
Someone who had just been in a car wash.
Not molested, but I looked like I had just ran through a forest and I stepped in a beehive and then I was just flailing and trying to get all the bees off of me. And my hair was like everywhere and I probably had like red on my face because I get rashes when men's mouths touch me.
But Michelle, would you go on another date with him?
Yeah, probably.
You're a homewrecker, Michelle.
I'm desperate. I'm so sad and alone.
It's not Michelle's fault. It's not her duty to police this man's commitments.
I think to choose to go on another date, then you have to take some responsibility. Up until that point, it was not your responsibility.
I don't know, maybe not.
If I found out that he did not have a girlfriend, then maybe, yeah, I'd give him another chance. But only if it was confirmed for sure that he is not in a relationship with someone. It's fine. Let's answer some questions.
Because isn't he going to listen to the show now?
I don't give a shit.
So here we are back at our office. Just had a good conversation on our smoke break, and we have to get back to answering these faxes, these emails.
It's good to be back, but we do have a huge stack of paperwork on our desks to catch up. It might take 2 weeks to catch up.
But thank you for sending them and keep them coming. You don't always have to fax your questions in to weareronda@gmail.com or the form on our website. Because if you want to save some paper and you would prefer to call in to the show, where can they do that, Michelle?
You can call in to area code 515-957-1796.
Hi! That was it.
Ew.
Leave a message, please.
Now we have to filter through that garbage.
Let's get on to some questions.
All right, ripping open this first envelope. Oh, this question comes from Heidi. Dear Rhondas, how do you fake being an interesting person? I have 3 social skills, and when I use them up, I turn into a mindless toad. Help!
I have so much experience with this. The key to sounding like an interesting person is to take an interest in what other people are interested in. This is so real. I'm being so serious right now. If you relate to someone's reasons for being into something with your own reasons, that's like the best way to begin a conversation or to begin learning about something that maybe isn't those 3 things that you really like.
Yeah, if you ever run out of anything to say about yourself, ask someone to elaborate on something that they said.
Yeah.
They love that too. People like talking about themselves.
When I learned that, I felt elevated. I felt new. I felt like I had like been on one of those like coffee enemas. All the garbage conversation just flowed out of my asshole and out into the world, and I was clean. I was digesting.
It wouldn't be an
new
episode
material.
if Eli didn't talk about his asshole.
I don't think it'll ever happen. But Heidi does want to know how to sound more interesting. So instead of going out there and saying like, I'm a skydiver, because then they'll be like, prove it. Because that's always the next thing anyone says when you say something cool about yourself. You have to have something provable. So think about, but before you like go out in a social gathering, think about, do I have any talents? Maybe you can do this thumb thing where you can remove your thumb.
Yeah, I do that one a lot.
That's a really good one. My go-to has been for a while because I have the same problem. I know for sure I have nothing interesting about myself to say. So then I say that I know how to pogo stick with no hands. But I have stories about eating a sandwich while pogo sticking. Like, so if you have anything weird about yourself, people like hearing about weird stuff. People like hearing about trauma.
So let's talk about how to get into a conversation like that, because this is a thing that I know is true. We humans were made of stories. That's like our currency that we deal in.
That's all we have.
It's really all we have.
It is.
If you think about it, you might think some people have a lot of money. No, they express their interests with money. So like,
Right.
How did you get that car? Why did you get that one?
Mm-hmm.
Why did you make this dish to bring to the potluck? These are ways of getting into this more organic moment of conversation where a story is just going to come to you that you might have even forgotten about. So a good question, for example, could be, what's your weirdest skill? Or what is something that nobody knows about you? Like, I like to get pretty deep
Oh, yeah. Me too, for sure.
just to see what people will tell me.
Should we role play?
Wait, Donald, can you be the moderator for this date that I'm going to go on with Michelle?
Yeah, of course. I'm going to set these two up on a first meeting.
Oh, I'm so
as
nervous.
strangers.
My name's Jake from State
Here's
Farm.
Jake from State. No, your name's Randy.
Randy. Okay.
I'm Mandy.
Randy and Mandy.
Hi, nice to meet
Hi,
you.
I am Randy.
I'm going to set you guys right here in this booth.
I'm a confident Mandy and you're a confident Randy.
Okay.
Oh my god, this is a nightmare. This could not go any worse. I like to point that out too. That's a fun thing. If we're talking about a date situation, I always point out how awkward it is.
You should call it.
Yeah.
You should say
I
exactly
call
what's
it-
happening. Just tell the truth.
Oh, yeah. I'm like,
about
this is
what
going
the situation
weird.
is.
The last time I went to Denny's was during the Hobbit premiere, and I got a stuffed cream cheese red velvet cake pancake ball. It had a bug on the underside of the plate. And so coming back to Denny's, this is a full circle. I just hope that there aren't any bugs.
Wow.
Okay, I'm going to stop you right there. That had nothing to do with the other person. You need to ask the other person a question to begin.
Are you a roach?
I'm not a roach, but your story does remind me of a story when I was in Washington, D.C., and I ordered a cinnamon roll at a diner, and it looked like someone had shaved their face over it because it was covered in little tiny hair particles.
Oh, God.
Yeah, what's the grossest thing you've ever eaten? See? It's easy.
Yeah.
I ate a man's beard on a cinnamon roll. I have a question for you.
Yeah, sure.
Do you think anyone's ever been killed in this Denny's?
Oh, for sure. Definitely.
How can you tell?
I think the fact that the menu had to be updated like more than once kind of suggests that maybe there was an accident that happened with the previous menu. Like maybe someone was murdered when they tried to make the continental breakfast pancakes for like $5 and it comes with like 12 different pancakes and a bunch of syrup.
That doesn't make any sense.
Someone had a cooking error and they chopped off some part of their body cooking this meal, so they had to rethink the menu.
And they died because they chopped off part of their body?
Yeah, well that's why else do you change your menu?
I'm calling you out on your bullshit.
Hi, I'm Charisse. I will be your server.
Oh, thank God.
Wow,
I'm so
thank God, because
hungry.
Mandy is such a fucking dick.
This is not
Nice to
going
meet
well.
both of you, I guess.
It's going to be separate checks
Yeah,
today.
yeah.
Okay, sure. Are you ready to order, or you just want me to bring you out a check that says 0?
Do you have any alcohol?
This is a Denny's, sir. Of course we have alcohol.
Yeah, I'll have 3 of those.
Does Denny's actually serve alcohol?
No, but I assume you've brought your own.
Yeah, just give me an OJ. I have a vodka in my purse. I'm going to make some screwdrivers.
Our new thing that we're trying at Denny's is, here are some conversation cards. They each have questions.
Why don't restaurants do that?
They each have questions on them, and you can draw one out at random and ask the person sitting across from you a question. So I'm just going to leave you with this, and I'll bring you back your mixers.
What's the craziest thing you've ever mashed up? Like in your hands? Do you ever just what's the coolest feeling? Like just squeezing something?
I had a carnivorous fish, so I would mash up bloody worms in my hand. drop them and like.
I'm eating.
That's so apt to this entire date. You ask the question, what's the weirdest thing you've ever mashed? And then when you get an answer, it's like, I'm eating. Ew.
Oh, the next question's really good for this date. Things you don't want to last very long. What is my Denny's makeout session in a car? What is my Denny's Pontiac makeout session?
What's the worst advice someone's ever given you, Mandy?
I've only ever gotten good advice. Why would someone give bad advice?
That seems wrong.
Actually, the worst advice was you should totally date this guy with a boyfriend.
Ooh.
Thanks, Mom.
Hey, it's Charisse again. I'm back with your mixer. The worst advice I've ever been given was to work at Denny's and to eat this whole jar of pickles. Here's another question that people really enjoy. What, if anything, is too serious to be joked about?
I legitimately have made a joke about everything. I'm thinking and I can't think of something that I would not joke about.
Yeah.
But I'm the worst. So I would never make a joke about like someone whose family member died. I would never do it to their face. Like my mom's grandpa died and we joke about it all the time.
Can we wrap up this question?
Yeah, we went on a huge tangent.
Heidi, the key here is to be interested in the other person. And I think to ask questions that are specific to what they are talking to you about. So if you notice that they have a
lazy eye.
Notice something about them. Yeah, where'd you get that lazy eye?
Aw, here. If you can pinpoint one keyword out of a sentence they say or out of a story they say, come back to it.
Yeah, you could be playing reruns of That's So Raven or Everybody Loves Raymond or
Everybody Loves Raven.
in your
That's
mind.
So Raymond.
And then all you need to do is just hear one word and then be like, oh, got it. Sasquatch.
Yeah.
Do you
Keywords.
believe in Bigfoot?
That's all about listening, and it's not about like being an interesting person. It's about caring about what someone else is saying.
And if all else fails, you can always just say, that's what she said to almost anything that they say.
Oh God, I say that too much now.
But don't do that.
That's a third date thing. You shouldn't. Can I ask a question? When is it okay to fart around someone that you met?
My rule is just never be the first one to fart.
What if that's my rule?
Exactly. If it's everyone's rule, then you'll just have the best smelling friendship.
Okay, that's a good answer. Thank you for that, Michelle. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. This next question comes from Meredith. When weed is finally legalized in your state, sup Iowa, let's get on board. How will you celebrate? Love, Meredith. A truly legit Rhonda. Dare I say, Rhonda AF. Rhonda as fuck.
Yeah, that should be a t-shirt. That's cool.
Thank you, Meredith.
Thank you, Meredith.
I'm your biggest fan.
How are you guys going to celebrate Weed Emancipation Day?
I'm going to roll a big, fat bluntarooski, and I'm going to eat the whole thing. I don't know how to weed. I'm never going to smoke it all, but I'm going to talk about it all the time.
Me too, yeah. Yeah, I can't smoke. I can't smoke weed. It makes me too crazy, or not crazy, but like, I don't know. It doesn't feel right.
It makes me too horny. I can't do it.
If I could ask Rhonda, I would ask Rhonda this question.
Why does weed make you horny?
Rhonda has no idea.
It's just science. We're not scientists.
The emancipation of cannabis is a new territory that Rhonda hasn't explored yet.
Weed makes me horny for journaling.
Oh, yeah. I remember that.
I will go off into a corner and I will fill a journal with all my darkest thoughts. And
yeah, and there's some amazing stuff in there. We went through them one day, remember?
yeah, I was like, do you guys want to see relics from a trying time in my life?
I was really interested in that stuff.
I feel like I am wasting my life if I ever smoke weed. But I do like gummy bears. So like one dose of government weed in a gummy bear is like perfectly measured. And like whenever somebody's giving me one of those and like, okay, I'll join the party because I'm a weak, peer pressurable peon.
I can't smoke a lot at all. Like I know my limits.
I wanted to see at what point I would start falling apart. And so I got there. I used a soda bottle. Which,
it's called a gravity bomb, I believe.
Okay. An entire 2-liter Coke bottle full of smoke. I inhaled like 4 or 5 of those. And it got so bad. I shot past like what would be the horny stage of anything. And I shot straight into gravity changed direction. And I was so scared I was going to fall out of the window that I like clutched onto my bed until like the first part of this was over. And I just like laid there catatonic, clutching the edge of my twin bed.
That sounds like a really great Friday night.
Wow. Marijuana is cool.
Yeah, it is.
It's a little terrifying.
Yeah, it was. I'm never going to do that much again, ever.
We have more questions. Did we answer that? I mean, I answered mine. I'm going to roll a big old blunt and eat it.
And I'm going to get contact high from my neighbors like I usually do. And
Yeah, there you go.
roll around on the floor until it feels better to be alive.
I like that answer. Our next question comes from Jackson Badluck. Jackson asks, there is a woman at my local Tivana. I was trying to chat her up and be impressive with my deep knowledge and appreciation for tea. But then when she poured me a sample of fresh hot tea, it was so hot that it burned my tongue and mouth. I tried to play it off like it didn't happen, but I think that it showed, and I think she thinks I'm an idiot. How do I seduce this woman? I'm putting a stop to this right now. I'm putting a stop to Jackson Badluck's plan. Maybe this should be a When We Are Queens.
Welcome to When We Are Queens, a segment in which we will tell you how to live your life under our rule. These are the new rules.
You cannot try to seduce someone at their job. They can't leave. They're trapped there until their shift is over. You may not ever encounter her in a seductive manner or ask her on a date or give her flowers, which is a thing that used to happen to me when I worked in retail all the time.
Ooh. Don't do that.
Don't do that.
This is related to another rule that we've already come up with, which is don't hit on your waiters, right?
Oh, yes.
Right.
Yeah.
This is how the law works in mysterious ways.
If it's subtle, if, say, Jackson Badluck wants to just slip her his number and be like, hey, if you're ever bored, give me a text. Maybe we can go see a movie or go mini golf or whatever. And then bye.
Yeah, then
get out.
Get out
bye.
of there. Peace out.
That's a very important step. You have to leave now because she's an employee in this location. You leave. You wait.
Leave it in her court.
If she does not text you, don't bother her. She's not interested. But if you creep into the door the next morning for your tea sample and say, hey.
But seriously, though, she has your information. She can find it because you paid for the tea. I hope you bought something.
Yeah, well, it just came in for a sample, I guess, and burned his mouth and tried to look hot.
But she has your information, and I have to admit, I'm always secretly hoping, and I don't know why I wish this, because this would be really creepy if it actually happened, but a person from whom I've purchased a thing, and I'm like, God, you're the most beautiful thing I've ever accepted tea from. Then I would hope that she would stalk me then and get in contact and be like, hey, I know this is weird, but I know you couldn't ask because I'm the Tivana person, and would you like to go on a tea date? Yes. I just want a missed connection that I don't have to go scouring the Craigslist sewer for. Okay, but as I think through this scenario, it would come from somebody who I'm definitely not interested in. That would be weird. I'd be like, why did you look at my credit card?
Oh, gosh.
Why did you put a piece of paper and slide a crayon over my credit card?
Why did you show me the paper after that and say, this is for me?
That's very disturbing. That's very creepy.
Shout back to our previous question. What the hell will you talk about? So what do you do?
What do you think, asshole?
Yeah.
How do you seduce this woman? You don't.
Yeah, just don't do it. Or you could ask her, do you hate tea? And do you want to get out of here right now? And she says yes. She drops her sample tray. You can sweep her up and carry her through the mall, down the escalator.
Do you hate tea as much as I do? Why are you here? 'Cause of you, baby. And then she can mace you. And that's how I got maced.
I have some other rules now that we're in this segment. The word snooze no longer exists, and you cannot use it as though it does.
What do you call the button on your phone that gives you extra minutes?
Extra minutes button.
The extra minutes button.
A snooze is a Dr. Seuss creature.
It does sound like a Dr.
It's
Seuss
the
character.
stupidest word, and I hate it. And I hate that everybody's
Snooze.
acting like it's a real word. It's not.
You gonna take a snoozer?
No.
What snoozer? You can't take snoozers anymore? Oh, yeah, I hate that. That's dumb. I hate
You can
it.
use that word
No, you
all you
can't.
want. You just cannot write it. It's on my expensive iPhone. It's on my plastic alarm clock. It's like embedded into it in the button. It's as though it's a real word,
Question.
and it's not. It never has been, and it isn't anymore.
Is it in the dictionary?
I don't care. It needs to be taken from dictionary.
Okay. The more I think about it, the more I hate it, and the more it looks like a snuffleupagus in my head.
It was used in 1785, the first time snooze was used. Wow.
Ew.
That's insane.
And you know what the last time is? 2018.
Amen.
Gong. Can I ask you about a word?
Yeah, let's hear it.
This is a word that I have been using my entire life that my mom had used when I was growing up. I'm pretty sure my brother probably uses it, but I found out recently it's not a word.
Does it help?
Is it no?
No.
It's no. Did you know that no one actually responds when you say that? Nothing happens. It's not no. It's chonk.
Ew.
Chonk? Spell it.
CHONK.
Can you use it in a sentence?
Okay, I'll
please?
use it. I'll use it in a sentence. Oh my God, she was chonking her gum so loud.
Can you use it in another sentence, please?
I couldn't hear the movie over her chonking. It's like chewing loudly, but making that,
Ew. Oh.
So it's like chomping
but with more of like a.
with a cut. Oh, it's sort of onomatopoeia.
Yeah. It's mostly in reference to gum.
Oh, that even describes like the mouthfeel too. Like saying that and hearing it definitely describes how it feels when you're chewing.
But
the
you
gum.
can use it for food too, like when you're chewing with your mouth open. Quit chonking. That's a phrase that happened a lot in my childhood. Quit your chonking. That's a word now. Gong.
New rule. You have to use subjects in your sentences or you are a sociopath. As I've gotten back to the office, I'm noticing a lot of emails that just say, would love your opinion, or would love to connect. I'm talking about when they don't use the word I. You know, when you're at work and you're getting a message like an email and it just says, would love to touch base, instead of I would love to touch base.
Right. It's like you're being cutesy.
What it really says to me is that I don't want to be included in this. This is just work. It's a way of speaking as though you're not actually present.
You're dissociated.
I think you seem like a sociopath if you don't use I or we or me or my.
I see where you're coming from, and I agree. Gong.
Gone.
Speaking of work emails, I got an actual work email today that changed my life. I legitimately do work in accounting. I'm the real Rhonda here. I got an email from this lady who was late on her payments, and it said, "You're still taking payments, but you want to send me to collections? That's okay. My kids don't need to eat." We didn't even tell her we were sending her to collections. I don't know why she even said that.
Can we
Really
turn this
funny.
into a rule? If you are calling somebody on the phone, they're just like that girl in Tivana. They can't leave. They have to sit there and take all of your abuse, and then the next person, and then the next person. Give them some kind of respect and some kind of love. Don't pile on the guilt that you can't make your payments or whatever, or I don't know.
Or you can't dispose of your emotions in a proper way.
Yeah. Oh, that's okay that you like killing kids. That's how I read her email. Oh, that's fine that you're a murderer of children. I should respond like, "Oh, I'm glad that's okay that your kids won't eat."
Oh, that's great. That's good.
Anyway, sending you to collections, LOL.
I almost felt sorry for her.
I almost did too, until I reread her email and I hated her.
New rule, you have to make your customer service representative smile or ideally laugh at least once.
I fully agree. You have to make your customer service representative want to help you.
Yes.
Yep.
Regardless of where you work, no one wants to be there. So when you need help from that person who is being paid to help you, why not make it a positive experience for everyone and help yourself by not being a fucking piece of
You're
shit
gonna get more out of
to
it.
your person in retail, because they deal with garbage on a daily basis 24/7.
Here's an actual legitimate bit of advice. You're on the phone with customer service representative. You can ask, as they're looking up your information, has it been a busy day?
I always ask that.
You
Yeah.
can ask that. That's an okay thing to ask, and they'll tell you probably yes, because it is a busy day. Then, this is the golden statement. I don't know how you do it. That makes
Ooh.
everybody feel good. That makes them feel
That's
valued.
good.
That makes them feel like I am doing well at this.
I like that. That is a good bit of advice.
I feel like this whole podcast has been real advice.
It has been real advice.
I know. Who are we? We really washed our brains.
Yeah.
Like we cleared our brains on that vacation.
Definitely.
We'll get back to nonsense soon enough, but If you see that the Starbucks is pretty busy, or if you see that the Ashley's Furniture has a lot of wicker chairs that were just delivered and they just don't seem to know what they're going to do with them, you can say, I don't know how you do this. I don't know how you keep up with all of this. Because it's hard work. So
That's
acknowledge
really good.
that it's hard work. That's what I'm saying.
Unless you're like my experience with Barbie at Starbucks. Me and Barbie and 2 other bridesmaids went to Starbucks the morning of her wedding. I thought it'd be nice to treat my new girlfriends to some coffee drinks. So we all ordered some coffees. I ordered the simplest drink possible. I ordered a big old black coffee, and they got their little frou-frou drinks that were beautiful, and they all got theirs before me, which was fine, whatever. Then the lady behind us in line got her drink, and then the other lady behind us got their drink, and we were just standing there, and I was like, what is going on? I just got a black coffee. So I went up to the counter, and I was like, excuse me, I don't know if you maybe lost my order or something. I just had a big old black coffee. And the lady literally said to me, our label does not print if you order a Pike coffee. It's up to you to tell your server what you ordered. And I was like, but I did when I ordered it. And she's like, no, our label printer does not print Pike. You have to tell us again. That's up to you. She told me that. She told me it was my responsibility to remind them after I've ordered. How would I know that?
Okay,
No
Michelle, that's when
way.
you take her by the cheeks and you say, I don't know how you do it. You grab her by the head, you look directly in her eyes and say, this is so much, I don't know how you do this. This is a situation where it is okay to literally crawl over the counter, knock off whatever you have to that is in your way, go to the spigot, get your big cup, and pour your own coffee. Dump it directly into your mouth, scalding hot.
Forget the cup. You need to get out of there quick. Just like dump it in your mouth.
I have a fun idea for this situation. How I felt was if and only if there is a fire extinguisher within eye shot, arson is okay.
Just a little arson, a little baby arson, a little miniature toddler arson.
You have to do the scan to make sure there is, in fact, a fire extinguisher. That's very important because you don't want to kill anyone.
Are you going to be getting the fire extinguisher?
I'm going to light it and go.
Yeah, it's a drill for them. And then go to the Starbucks across the street where they have good service.
They should go over the emergency procedures. They know where that fire extinguisher is. I can see it out of the corner of my eye. I'm out of here.
Well, that about does it for this episode of We Are Rhonda. Thank you so much for tuning in and sending in your questions. Remember, you can send in voicemails now.
The number in which you can leave us voicemail questions, comments, or concerns is 515-957-1796. Call us. We won't answer.
We will get to it and maybe even play it on air.
Also, you can stop by our little website, friend, which is www.wearerhonda.com.
That's where I listen to the podcast.
That's where your mom and your dad can also listen to the podcast.
It's where your mom listens to podcasts. Oh, shit!
Damn, got him. I'm glad we had you here, back in the office again. Thank you for listening.
It's good to be home.
Yeah, it's good to be home.
I'm in the outro.
Okay, bye. Okay, bye.